Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, the Sangguniang Panlalawigan ng Albay has expressed support for the proposed Food for Work program of the LGU Manito for fisherfolk affected by calamities. The support was formalized through the approval of the Municipal Ordinance No. 05-2025, which allocates funds for disaster and emergency response. 3rd District's Board Member Brian P. Arondia, chairperson of the Committee on Crisis and Emergency Management, said that the program aims to assist affected families through relief services. The initiative focuses on registered fisherfolk in Manito, recognizing their heightened vulnerability in coastal areas. In other story, the Provincial Youth Development Office will launch the first Outstanding Sangguniang Kabataan and Youth Organizations Awards and recognition on August 30, 2025 at the Albay Astrodome. The event is part of the Linggo ng Kabataan 2025 celebration and aims to honor the outstanding contributions of SK chairpersons, SK councils, LYDCs, and youth organizations in Albay. The recognition will feature awards such as Outstanding SK Chairpersons, Best SK Project, Most Impactful Advocacy Program, and Best Youth-Led Community Project. PYDO Head Rondon C. Ricafort encouraged all eligible SK councils, LYDCs, and youth organizations to submit nominations. Applicants must submit up to 5 significant accomplishments aligned with the 10 centers of participation, along with supporting documents. The deadline for submissions is on August 18, 2025, with panel evaluations and judging set for August 19 and 20, 2025. In the national scene, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has signed into law the postponement of this year's Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections to allow the government to focus on the first parliamentary elections in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Republic Act No. 12232 moves the scheduled December 1, 2025 BSKE to November 2, 2026, which falls on All Souls Day. Under the new law, the BSKE will be held every 4 years thereafter. A copy of the signed law was released to Malacanang reporters on Wednesday evening and will be officially published in the Official Gazette. In other story, human rights lawyers and Akbayan Party List Representatives Chal Jokno is urging lawmakers in both chambers of Congress to support a bill requiring the inclusion of West Philippine Sea history and geography in the primary and secondary education curriculum. Jokno made the appeal following the submission of the proposed 6.7 trillion pesos national expenditure program to the House of Representatives, which prioritizes funding for the education sector. His statement also came after a China Coast Guard vessel collided with a Chinese Navy warship while pursuing a Philippine Coast Guard ship near the Scarborough Shoal on August 11. The call for support aligns with the recent formation of a legislative coalition just days after the 9th anniversary of the 2016 arbitral ruling in favor of the Philippines. Aside from the curriculum bill, the coalition also filed a resolution to probe sister city agreements between China and the Philippines. They also proposed a bill declaring July 12 as National West Philippine Sea Victory Day in commemoration of the arbitral win. In other news, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority assured House lawmakers that it is in close coordination with the Department of Public Works and Highways and local government units to prevent redundancy in flood control initiatives. The assurance was made during a House Committee on Public Accounts briefing and raising concerns about interagency collaboration on flood management. Quezon City 4th District Representative Jesus Manuel Bong Suntay pointed out that flood waters flow across city boundaries, requiring unified action. Marikina 2nd District Representative Miro Kimbo called for a clear policy direction to avoid blame shifting and inquired whether the MMDA would be willing to manage all pumping stations. MMDA Chairperson Romando Artes responded that the agency is willing to take on the responsibility if Congress formally assigns it. And in the news outside the country, authorities confirmed that 9 people were killed on Tuesday following an accidental explosion at an explosive plant in southern Brazil. Photos released by the Parana Fire Department showed a wide area of debris at the blast site in the metropolitan zone of Curitiba, the state capital. The explosion occurred at around 6 a.m., leaving 3 women and 6 men initially reported missing. Search and rescue operations were conducted by security personnel assisted by search dogs. 7 others sustained injuries and are currently being treated at local hospitals. Executives from Inex Brazil, the company operating the plant, said the cause of the explosion is still under investigation. The company also pledged to provide psychological support to the victims and their families. And finally, in the news outside the country, the Israeli military announced it has approved a new operational plan for an expanded assault in the Gaza Strip. The decision follows calls from Israel's security cabinet for the capture of Gaza City amid worsening humanitarian conditions after 22 months of conflict. Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir, chief of the Israeli Armed Forces, sanctioned the IDF's operational strategy for the offensive. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government has not provided a timeline for when Israeli forces will enter Gaza City, where many civilians have taken refuge. Hamas media official Ismail al-Tawabta told AFP that Israeli forces continue aggressive incursions into the Gaza City. Sabah Fatoum, a 51-year-old resident in Tal al-Hawa, described the explosions in the area as tremendous during a phone interview with AFP. Gaza's Civil Defense Agency reported intensified Israeli airstrikes in residential areas of Zaytun and Sabra, potentially targeting high-rise buildings. Agency spokesperson Mahmoud Basal said at least 35 people were killed across Gaza due to Israeli airstrikes and gunfire. And that's all for the news at 12, August 15, 2025. We'll be back next week for more news updates. Thanks to our news writer LJ Lorejo and Leia Guazan. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis. And our Provincial Information Officer OIC, Marty Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor, Noel E. Rusal, I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing.